Welcome to Light Her Up, your go-to podcast for exploring what it means to align with your passions and create a life filled with freedom, ease, and fulfillment. I'm your host, Natalie Bernacchi, a mom, entrepreneur, and certified coach who left a 15-year corporate career to build a life aligned with my passions and help other women do the same. We'll be diving deep into topics like self-discovery, mindset shifts, and the courage to pursue the life you've always dreamed of. Thank you for being here and for prioritizing yourself. I'm honored to be a part of your journey. If you're ready to find your joy, reclaim your identity, and upgrade your life, you're in the right place. Now let's light it up. Hello, my loves. I hope you are all feeling absolutely lit up today. And if you're not, that's okay. That's what this podcast is for. And you're in for an incredible episode today. And apologies in advance if you're hearing any background noise. I am in my hotel room. I'm on a staycation, as I mentioned in my last episode. My husband was traveling the entire month of February, and I needed a little break. So I raised my hand. I said, I need a break. Being a mom is hard work. I am at my max capacity, and I need a break, just energetically. I love my kids. They're my number one loves of my entire life and literally my passion and my purpose in this life. And momming is hard, and it's okay to say I need a break. So here I am recording from this room, and just apologies in advance if you hear any background noise because the hotel is bumping today. There's people out in the hallway, there's noise outside, there's a little like patio happy hour going on with some music. So if you hear anything, apologies in advance, but I know you're going to love this episode. So let me ask you something. If you fully embodied the next level version of yourself starting today, how different would your life look a year from now? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into on this episode. We're talking about one of my absolute favorite topics, identity work and stepping into your future self. Now, this is truly what I attribute my transformation to. It was just a few years ago that I was super unhappy with where I was at in life, specifically in my career, and I let it trickle into all aspects of my life. When I started doing the deep identity work and truly making decisions from my future self, that's when the magic really started to happen. So if you want to make a transformation in your life, you've got to become the version of you who already has what you want. You've got to feel how that version of you who feels incredible, amazing, and fulfilled feels. It's about making decisions, showing up, and embodying that next level version of you right now. So in this episode, we will talk about what identity work really is and why it's the key to unlocking transformation and fulfillment in your life, how to shift from your current reality into your next level self. We'll talk about the biggest mistake that people make when manifesting their desires. And I'll also give you some daily practices to help you embody your future self today. So have you ever said things like, I know what I want, but I don't know how to get there? Or I keep trying to change, but I always fall back into my old habits? Or I'm doing the affirmations, I'm doing the vision boards, I'm meditating, why isn't it working? If you said one of those statements or asked yourself one of those questions, then keep listening. If you're ready to step into her, the woman you're meant to be, then this episode is for you. And before we dive in, I have something special for you. If you've been dreaming of starting or growing your own business, but feel like fear is holding you back, you're not alone. Most women don't stay stuck because they lack a great idea. They stay stuck because they overthink, they doubt themselves, and they believe it's safer to wait. But staying stuck is the riskiest thing that you can do. So that's why I've created the Confident Mamapreneur, a step-by-step guide to break free from everything holding you back from starting the business of your dreams. This guide will help you rewire fear-based thoughts, break through limiting beliefs, and help you start showing up as the CEO of your own life. By the end, you'll have the confidence to take your first bold step towards the business of your dreams. You can download your free copy now, and the link is waiting for you in the show notes. So let's get into it. Let's start with this. Your identity shapes your reality. Who you believe you are determines what you will allow yourself to have. Most of us think we need to achieve something before we can feel a certain way. We say things like, when I make 6 or 7 figures, then I'll be successful. When I lose weight, then I'll feel confident. When I finally have my dream business, then I'll show up boldly. But that is backwards. That's so freaking backwards. You don't wait to become her. You become her now by being her now. Because your subconscious mind is always looking for evidence to reinforce who you believe you are. If you believe you're not the kind of person who is confident, successful, or thriving, your brain will find ways to keep you stuck in that identity. You guys, I can't even tell you how many times in my corporate career I worked myself into the ground so that I could get a promotion and a raise. And every single time, and yes, I got a lot of them in my 15-year career in tech. I was really, really good at what I did, and I was an overachiever, and I loved external validation. So yeah, I got a lot of promotions, and it never felt good. I kept chasing this promotion or the raise, thinking that I would feel so good and so accomplished. And honestly, it was always underwhelming. It was always underwhelming, and it never actually made me feel good. How many times have you said, oh, I'll buy that dress or that outfit, or go on a little shopping spree for myself as a reward when I lose that 10 pounds? I have done this so many times. Ironically, I used to do it with workout clothes. And honestly, let's talk about backwards. I would tell myself, when I lose 10 pounds, I'll buy that cute Viore or Lululemon set. And then one day I realized I had it all freaking backwards. Wasn't I supposed to feel good now as motivation to keep working out and keep living a healthy lifestyle instead of waiting for this time when who knows when it would come to actually reward myself? I should be rewarding myself during the journey, not just when I get to that end goal. And the last example about when I finally have my dream business, then I'll show up boldly. Ladies, so many of us do this to ourselves. Why? When I say this out loud, it doesn't even seem logical. Like really? You have to show up boldly in order to create the business of your dreams. The business of your dreams does not come after. So here's a little identity test. Think about something you want but haven't achieved yet. Now ask yourself, does my current identity align with that version of me? Because if you want to be a confident business owner, but your identity is still stuck in, I'm not experienced enough, you'll sabotage yourself. If you want to attract a healthy relationship, but your identity is still, I'm always the one who gets hurt, you'll unconsciously push love away. If you want that overflowing bank account, but your identity is still stuck in, I'm not good with money, or I never have enough, you'll unconsciously block abundance, you'll undercharge, and you'll avoid looking at your finances or make decisions that keep you stuck in the scarcity mindset. So the real work is changing your identity first, not after. And truly, that's where most people get it wrong. The biggest mistake people make when trying to level up is not doing this first. So many people try to change their lives by changing their actions first. New habits, new routines, new strategies. And yes, you will need that stuff to step into your next version of yourself and to level up. But if your internal identity doesn't shift, you will always, literally always default back to your old patterns. That's why people say things like, I keep trying to be more disciplined, but I always fall off track. Or I want to be confident, but I still doubt myself all the time. Or I know what I need to do, but I just can't seem to follow through. Your reality shifts when you shift. When you truly step into your future self, when you start thinking like her, making decisions like her, and most importantly, feeling like her, your external world begins to match your internal world. Because here's the thing. You've probably manifested things in your life before, and you thought that they would make you happy, but when you got them, you didn't actually feel any different. Why? Because you didn't shift your identity to match your new reality. So for example, maybe you finally hit a business goal, but you still felt like you weren't good enough. Again, I mentioned this earlier, this happened all the time in my corporate career where I'd get a promotion and a raise and I would not feel happy. It was super underwhelming and actually I felt like shit. Maybe you've entered a great relationship, but old insecurities pop back up. Maybe you moved into your dream home, but it didn't feel as fulfilling as you thought it would. Or maybe it did for a really short time and then that feeling of fulfillment fizzled out. That's why it's not just about what you attract, it's about how you feel in your new reality. If you don't feel worthy, if you don't feel safe, if you don't feel aligned in your new reality, you'll find a way to self-sabotage or revert back to old patterns. Let me tell you this, your identity will always override your effort. I'm going to say that again. Your identity will always override your effort. Think about it like this. If someone identifies as a smoker, even if they try to quit, they'll struggle because they still see themselves as a smoker. The real shift happens when they stop seeing themselves that way, when their identity shifts to I am a healthy person instead. So that story that I shared on a prior episode about when I quit smoking, that was truly the shift that I made. It wasn't that my husband said, oh, if you quit smoking for a year, we'll move to California. It was the fact that I visualized myself as a non-smoker, as a healthy non-smoker living in California. And by doing that and identifying as a non-smoker, I was able to quit. Prior to that, I had started the nicotine patches, the gum. I even went on Wellbutrin for a while, but I would still say, oh, I'm a smoker and I'm just trying to quit. Well, my favorite business coach and manifestation coach and founder of Quantum Coaching Academy, Ashley Gordon, she always says, trying is lying. And so you need to stop trying to be this person. You need to be this person. So your identity will always override your effort. And the same applies to you. If you're still seeing yourself as the person who struggles, who second guesses, who plays small, you are literally reinforcing that reality. So the real question is, who do you need to become in order to live in your highest timeline? So let me talk to you for a second. Yes, you, the one who's listening right now. If you want to start your own business and work for yourself, but deep down you still see yourself as someone who isn't the kind of person who could run a business or isn't smart enough to figure it out, then guess what? You're going to keep procrastinating, you're going to keep doubting yourself and looking for reasons why it won't work instead of actually taking the steps to make it work. You will stay stuck in the overthinking mode, convincing yourself that you're not ready yet. You don't become a business owner after you succeed. You become a business owner the moment you decide that's who you are. When you start identifying as, I am capable, I am resourceful, and I'm a committed entrepreneur, You'll start making moves like one. You'll stop waiting for permission and you'll start showing up as the person who makes things happen. And that's when everything starts shifting. So, not too long ago, I was working in corporate America. I had a 15-year corporate career in a customer success. It's like account management in tech startups. And it's so interesting how we attach ourselves to our job titles. When we introduce ourselves to someone new, like 9 times out of 10, it's, "Hi, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you do for a living?" And that, like, what do you do for a living tends to define us. And so when I would introduce myself to new people that I met, I would always say, like, "Hi, I'm Natalie Bernacchi. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I lead customer success teams at a tech startup." And the first time that I actually made that shift, I will never forget. I was at a mother's circle for a it was a fall equinox circle by 2 wonderful women here in the South Bay. I will actually tag them here in the show notes, Nicole Foster and Whitney Webster, and they run the Mother Circle South Bay here in the South Bay of Los Angeles. And they do these amazing in-person gatherings. And so anyhow, I was at their autumn equinox gathering, and it was back in October. And it was the first time that I had introduced myself to an entire group of strangers as a mindset coach. Prior to that, I would always introduce myself as a customer success leader at a tech startup. And going into that, I remember, like talking to myself on the drive up, being like, you have to own this, you have to embody this, you have to step into this persona. And it was hard work. It's so hard to come out essentially as a new identity and to really own that and embody that. And I did, and I was nervous, but I did it confidently, and I was so proud of myself. And I actually ended up meeting some incredible women. And it's so interesting when you step into this new identity, this new version of yourself, and you really embody that, you start to attract the people who support that new identity and that new up-leveled version of you. So truly, once you step into that identity and you own it and you feel it, you will attract so many things to support you in that shift. So let me ask you this. Do you see yourself as someone who always struggles? Someone who has bad luck or just can't seem to catch a break? If you do, I need you to know this. Your identity is reinforcing your reality. Even if you try to change your circumstances, if you still identify as someone who is stuck, life is going to keep reflecting this back to you. But the second that you shift out of life is always happening to me and into I am in control of my life, I am resourceful, I create opportunities, that's when things change. Because when you start seeing yourself as someone who creates their reality, you start making choices from that place. You stop settling, you start moving differently, and doors that once felt closed suddenly start opening. Have you ever read that book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There? I think that's what it's called. Essentially, if you keep making decisions from the lens of your current self, you're just going to keep getting that same result. So you really need to step into that next level version and make decisions from that place in order to step into your future self. And listen, if you're dreaming of the thriving business, the dream home, the loving family, but part of you still believes people like me don't get that kind of success, or I'm always struggling to make ends meet, you're unconsciously keeping yourself in a loop. You'll shrink yourself, you'll hesitate, you'll pass up opportunities because deep down, you don't truly believe that those things are meant for you. You need to believe it. And here's what I want you to take in. You do have the power to shift that. The second that you start telling yourself, I am the kind of person who creates the life I desire. I am worthy of success, love, and abundance. That's when everything starts aligning. Because once you believe it, you'll start making choices that reflect it. You'll finally take that leap in your career, set boundaries, and say yes to the opportunities that will elevate your life. So my question to you is, are you ready to shift into that version of you who has everything that you desire? I've said this before, but I'm going to remind you again. She's already inside you. You just have to decide to be her. All right, now let's talk about how to actually make that shift. So here are some practices to help you embody your next level starting today. And take them or leave them. Every single person is unique. And so the way that you do things is unique to you. And what I would recommend is trying them all, maybe not in the same day, but trying them all and really dropping into your body and seeing which one feels the best. Which one are you able to access that highest self, that next level version of you? And just continue to revisit that. So one of them, act as if. Ask yourself, what would future me do? Would she say yes to the opportunity? Or would she let fear hold her back? Would she wake up and scroll on her phone? Or would she start her day intentionally? Sky before screen, ladies. I learned this one this year and it has been a total game changer. Sky before screens. Sleep with your phone in the other room. Get yourself an alarm clock. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Would this future version of yourself invest in your growth today or stay stuck in self-doubt? So act as if you are her. Start making decisions from her perspective. The second tip, upgrade your environment. Your space should reflect the version of you that you're stepping into. Dress like your future self. Create a workspace that inspires you. Surround yourself with people who align you with your next level energy. I'm telling you, that saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, it's true. You want to make sure that you are up-leveling. And by up-leveling, you need to not be the smartest person in the room. You need to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, who are in that next level energy that you want to be. And instead of waiting for that goal that you have of losing weight or, oh, I'll buy that thing for myself when I get to that level or when I lose that 10 pounds. Start dressing like that person now. Start owning that. Start embodying that. And I don't know about you, but my environment is everything to me. I realize that when I don't get ready for my day, when my house is a mess, or when my workspace isn't organized, I feel super distracted and I am not on my A game. I remember a past mentor of mine, you know who you are. She would always say, you have to dress the part. And yes, that's when we were in the corporate world, but what that translates to me now is that you have to dress the part of the future version of yourself. Embody that now. It may sound silly, but how do you feel when you put on a brand new outfit that you love? It changes the vibe, doesn't it? So set yourself up for success, declutter your home, declutter your workspace, and start getting ready for the day based on how you want to feel as that future version of yourself. And you still can get in your athleisure and feel comfy and look cute too, but really just like take a shower. Brush your hair, wash your face, get ready for the day. I'm telling you, it'll make the world of a difference. The third tip, rewrite your identity beliefs. So, what is the old story that you've been telling yourself? Is it, I'm not confident? Rewrite it, reframe it. I am becoming the most confident version of myself every day. If you tell yourself, I'm not good with money, rewrite it. I am learning to attract and manage wealth with ease. Every time your old belief pops up, choose the new belief instead. And eventually you'll go from, I'm not confident, to I am becoming the most confident version of myself every day, to I am the most confident version of myself. And you'll go from I'm not good with money to I am learning to attract and manage wealth with ease to I am attracting and managing wealth with ease. So you don't have to go from A to C immediately. You can do the I am not good at, I am not good with, to I am learning, I am becoming, to I am. Every time your old belief pops up, remember, replace it with that. And get honest with these. Truly, you need to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, then none of this is going to work. So write down everything you tell yourself. Maybe start a note on your phone, and anytime that little voice pops up in your head telling you that you're not good at something, write it down. Because odds are you're not good at it because that's what you keep telling yourself. You're not good at it because you've literally called yourself out of the game before it even started. Once I realized that I am legitimately capable of anything I put my mind to, my entire world became limitless. I started playing a game with myself, essentially. I'd be next to a random stranger and I'd be like, if that person can do it, why can't I? Why are they able to do it and I can't? What makes them better than me? Literally, if someone today tells me that something is not possible, it's like my brain actually doesn't know how to accept that anymore. Even as something as simple as the other day when I was booking this hotel room that I'm recording this podcast from, my husband was helping me get the reservation set up, and I asked him if he could request early check-in for me so I could get the most out of the day here. And he was like, no, they won't do it. And I was like, okay, well, did you ask? And he was like, no, but they never do. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just call and get it taken care of. So, of course, because I said that, he called, and sure enough, they gave him early check-in, like a really early check-in. And you know I love you, Matt. I just love to keep you on your toes and test you. Another way to step into your future self is through visualization. I personally find visualization very powerful, and all of the meditations that I have on this podcast involve an element of visualization. And there's a really great 5-minute meditation or visualization that I just released last week. So check it out when you have a moment. I'll link to it in the show notes. But you can do this solo without the recording. Just close your eyes and imagine yourself 1 year from now, or even 1 month from now, or even 1 week from now. The version of you who already has what you want. What does she look like? How does she feel? What is she doing daily? Write it down. Get super detailed. Create a vision that is so clear that you can step into her now. So who you believe you are is shaping your reality. If you want a different life, you have to start by shifting your identity first. Stepping into your next level life isn't about waiting. It's about embodying that version of you now. The mindset, the habits, the way that she carries herself, you start it today. The moment you decide to operate from your future self, your actions, your choices the way that you feel, opportunities will start aligning with that version of you. So here's your challenge for the week. Write down one decision you're going to make as your future self this week, one small shift that aligns with the version of you that you're stepping into. And I want to hear from you. DM me on Instagram at The Light Within Collective and tell me what you're stepping into. I will happily be your accountability partner. And don't forget to grab your free Confident Mamapreneur Guide, a step-by-step guide to break free from everything holding you back from starting the biz of your dreams. The link is in the show notes. And remember, I believe in you. You are already her. You just have to step into it. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you next week. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Light Her Up. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take steps towards a life better than you ever dreamed. I see you, I hear you, and I'm so proud of you for showing up and prioritizing your journey. When you fill up your cup with love, you can pour so much more into the people and passions that matter to you most. If this episode resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you subscribed, left a review, and shared it with someone who could use a little extra light. For more, check out our weekly 5-minute meditations or connect with me on Instagram at The Light Within Collective. I'm sending you my love, and I'll catch you on the next episode.